Ever wondered how propaganda can influence even the most patriotic individuals to shift their loyalties? This is the potent power of persuasion, an art form that was masterfully wielded by the Nazi regime during World War II. At the heart of this strategy was Hitler's Heim's Reich policy, a call to arms that echoed through the hearts and minds of ethnic Germans around the globe. Heim's Reich, or Home into the Empire, was a policy aimed to consolidate ethnic Germans under the Nazi regime. It was a siren call, appealing to the perceived blood ties and shared heritage of ethnic Germans, regardless of their current nationality. The socio-political context of the time was ripe for such a call to resonate. In the United States, groups like the German-American Bund were not just passive observers of the events unfolding across the Atlantic. Instead, they actively supported Nazi ideologies, creating a favorable environment for the Heim's Reich policy to take root. It's within this context that we find a lesser-known chapter of history. Some German Americans, swayed by Nazi propaganda and the alluring call of their ancestral homeland, made the fateful decision to return to Germany to enlist. They traded the Star-Spangled Banner for the swastika, their American identity for a German one, and embarked on a journey that would forever alter their lives. Yet it's crucial to remember that these individuals represent only a tiny fraction of the German-American population during that time. The vast majority remained committed to their American identity, answering the call of duty to serve in the U.S. military. But the number of German Americans who joined the Nazi military was small compared to those who served in the U.S. military. This is not a story of mass betrayal, but rather a testament to the powerful sway of propaganda and the complexities of identity during one of history's darkest hours. So, what happened after these German Americans decided to put on the Nazi uniform? A decision of such magnitude, rooted in the depths of their ethnic identity, was not made lightly. The call of the fatherland resonated strongly with some, leading them to enlist in the SS and Wehrmacht, the primary military organizations of the Nazi regime. They were driven by a sense of duty to their ancestral homeland, and the complex, often misunderstood, tangle of their German-American identity. The roles they played within the Nazi military were as diverse as their backgrounds. Some served as frontline soldiers, others as translators, leveraging their bilingual abilities to bridge the gap between the two cultures they represented. Their American background often influenced their duties and positions within the military hierarchy, adding another layer to the already complex narrative of their wartime experiences. However, this chapter of German-American history is often overlooked. It's easy to forget that these were not faceless soldiers, but individuals with their own stories, motivations, and struggles. They were caught in a socio-political whirlwind, swayed by propaganda and the powerful rhetoric of the Nazi regime. Their journeys reflect the complexities of ethnic identity, allegiance, and the influence of geopolitical circumstances. Yet, it's important to remember that these German Americans represented a small fraction of their demographic. Many more served in the U.S. military, fighting against the very ideologies their counterparts had embraced. The experiences of those who chose to enlist in the Nazi military serve as a stark reminder of the power of propaganda and the potential it has to sway individuals and communities. Their decisions, influenced by the power of propaganda, led them down a path that would have severe consequences. These German Americans, caught in the crossfire of two world powers, would face repercussions that echoed long after the war had ended. But that's a story for another time. But what happens when the war is over, and these individuals want to return to their American lives? The aftermath of World War II presented a grim reality for the German Americans who had enlisted in the Nazi military. Their decision to join Hitler's forces was not without consequences. First and foremost, they were stripped of their U.S. citizenship. This was a monumental loss, a revocation of rights and privileges they had enjoyed as citizens of one of the world's most powerful democracies. They were effectively stateless, caught between a defeated homeland and a country that no longer recognized them as its own. In addition to this, they were implicated in war crimes. The Nazi regime was notoriously brutal, and its soldiers were often complicit in horrific acts of violence and genocide. These German Americans, who had once lived ordinary lives in the United States, were now associated with some of the most heinous crimes in history. The weight of these crimes was immense, and it followed them long after the war had ended. Their actions during the war also significantly affected their post-war lives in the United States. They were viewed with suspicion and often ostracized by their communities. The American dream they had once pursued was now a distant memory, replaced by a harsh reality of rejection and isolation. The story of these German Americans serves as a sobering lesson. It underscores the potent influence of propaganda and the complexities of ethnic identity. Their decision to enlist under Hitler's Heim's Reich policy was influenced by a myriad of factors, including socio-political context, ethnic allegiance, and the persuasive power of Nazi ideologies. In the end, that decision irrevocably altered the course of their lives. Their choice to enlist under Hitler's policy changed their lives forever, a stark reminder of the power of propaganda and the complexities of ethnic identity. The story of German Americans who enlisted under Hitler's Heim's Reich policy is a lesser-known chapter of World War II history. As we've seen, this period was marked by the power of propaganda, the complexities of ethnic identity, and the diverse experiences of German Americans. The socio-political context of the time influenced some German Americans to return to Germany to enlist, while the majority served in the US military. After the war, those who joined the Nazi military faced consequences, including loss of US citizenship and implication in war crimes. Understanding these intricate and often avoided aspects of history is essential. It allows us to reflect on the past, learn from it, and gain a more comprehensive view of the world. History is rich, complex, and often surprising. It's a reminder that the decisions individuals make are influenced by a myriad of factors, and the consequences can be profound and far-reaching. So, what other overlooked chapters of history would you like to explore next? Use the comment section below to share your suggestions, and don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any new videos.